And in that book entitled The Lorax, he introduced us to a character by the name of Onceler. He introduced us to a character by the name of Onceler. Onceler comes to this oasis of a land. He comes to this oasis of a land, and when he looks out, he sees that the sky is real blue. The fact of the matter is, the sky is beautiful. He looks at the landscape, and the landscape looks as if it has been freshly planted. It is green, it is lush, it is plush. Onceler comes to this oasis of a land, and he sees the blue sky. He sees the landscape that looks like it's just been planted, and he sees the water that is so clear and so pure that you can see your reflection in the water. He also looks out across this oasis of a land, and he sees that there are several beautiful trees. And so he looks out across this oasis of a land that has this beautiful blue sky, that has this landscape that is green, that has this water where you can see your reflection. And he sees the beautiful trees. And in these beautiful trees, there are monkeys who reside in the tree, who have recreation in the tree, and they also receive their nutrients from the tree. There are birds that find shade in the tree. There's fishes that swim, or fish that swim in the pond, in this oasis of a land. But Onceler comes to this land and seeing the trees and the value that they possess, he makes up his mind that I will rape the land of its trees, much like the colonials did when they raped Africa of its resources. And so he says to himself that I will tear down these trees and I will begin to make garments that everyone will need. Onceler comes to this oasis of a land. He sees the resources, and he makes up his mind that I will chop down the trees so that I can produce a garment that everyone is going to desire. And so he chops down the first tree. And once he chops down the first tree, it is then that we see the character who is a Lorax pop up on the scene, and he pleads with Onceler, please do not chop down the trees, because there will be some repercussions later on. But Onceler chops down the tree, and once he's chopped down the tree, he then makes this garment, and he sells the garment, and he has a profit in his pocket. And so now Onceler says, well, I've chopped down one tree, and I received a profit. What will happen if I chop down more trees? And so he sends for all his friends. He sends for all the workers to come and help him chop down tree after tree after tree after tree. And as they're chopping down tree after tree after tree after tree, they are producing product, and they're putting profit in their pockets. They're chopping down so many trees that eventually the monkeys who once resided in the tree, who once had recreation in the tree, and who once had their nutrients from the tree, decide that they have to move away because they are losing trees in the land. But Onceler does not stop. He's bent. He's set out on greed. And he makes up his mind that if I build a factory, that we can produce more garments, which means we can tear down more trees and have more profit in our pockets. And so he builds a factory, and the factory he builds is able to produce more garments, and they're tearing down more trees. But then the birds come along and says, because you built this factory, there's smog in the air, and now the sky that once was blue is suddenly gray, and it's causing us to have to cough, and so we have to fly and move away. But Onceler makes up his mind and said, there's still some trees that need to be cut down. I know the monkeys have gone away. I know the birds have flown away. But if I build a bigger factory, then I'll put more profits in my pocket, and I'll be able to produce more product. And so he builds a bigger factory. But now this bigger factory continues to put out pollutants in the air, and now it puts out germs and toxins in the ocean. And Dr. Seuss, as only he could tell us, lets us know that the fish then pack their fins and run away to another land. It is at that time that the last tree is chopped down. And once the last tree has been chopped down, all his friends and all the workers, realizing that there are no more profits to be made or products to be made, make up their mind that they're ready to move away. Tell somebody, typical. They make up their mind that they now want to move away. And it is once all the monkeys have gone away. It is when the birds have flown away. It is when the fish have left the land. It is when the workers and the friends have left the land that Wassler looks around and realizes that while he has fat pockets, his heart is empty because he is now all alone. You've got to catch that. You've got to catch that. Once the last tree has been chopped down and once all the friends and the workers have moved away because there's no more profit or product to be made, Wassler now looks around and says to himself that I've got fat pockets, but I've got an empty heart because I have fat pockets, but now I am all alone. It is then that this verse runs to his mind. What then does it profit a man to gain the whole world and mess around and lose his own soul? It is then that Psalm 52:7 runs to his mind and says, here is the man who did not make God for his strength, but trust in the abundance of his riches and strengthen himself in his own wickedness. It is here that Proverbs 15:27 comes to mind. He who is greedy for gain troubles his own house. It is here that Ecclesiastes 5:10 comes to mind. He who loves silver will never be satisfied with silver. And my brothers and sisters, in this day and age when everybody is trying to make the next dollar, when everybody is trying to be discovered on the next reality show, when everybody is falling for the get-rich scam, I've come by here to remind us all that while it is true that God warns us that he will take care of our needs, it is also true that God warns us against the danger of greed. I better say that again. While God promised that I will take care of your need, he also cautions us against the danger of greed. Well, two-step with me to our text this morning, and there we find two men, Abram and Lot. And the text opens up on the tail end of chapter 13, chapter 12, and it lets us know in chapter 12 that Abram has just received a promise from God. I like that. I like that. Chapter 13 opens up on the tail end of chapter 12, and chapter 12 lets us know that Abram has just received a promise from God. I like that. I've got to pause right here just for a second and let somebody know why you should shout when somebody make you a promise. You're not shouting because of what they said, but you're shouting because who said it and your belief in what was said. I think I said something. I better say it again. This is the reason why you ought to shout over a promise, not because of what was said, but because of who said it and your belief in what was being said. Abram receives a promise from God and stirs up a shout in his spirit because he knows that if God ever makes you a promise, that God will keep his promise. I think I've got some witnesses in the house this morning that says, I shout in my spirit because if God ever tells me he's going to do something in my life, I know he's going to do it. If God ever tells me he's going to open a door for me, I don't care if it's closed right now, the door will be open. If God ever tells me he's going to make a way from me, I don't care how dark, I don't care how cloudy it may be. If my God has made me a promise because of who he is and my belief in who he is, I know that he will be true to his. Is there a witness in the house this morning to say, thank God that God will keep his promise? God has made us some promises that says, I'm going away, but don't worry, children, I'm coming back. That where I am, I will receive you unto myself. God has made us some promises that if you trust and never doubt, no matter what you're going through, like the Hebrew boys, I will bring you out. Is there anybody here this morning that says, I'm standing on the promises of my God? I'm standing on the promise that God has made me. It's been 5 years ago that he spoke something in my life, but I'm still standing on the promise of God. It seems like it's never going to happen, but I know that though the vision tarry, if I wait on the Lord, it shall surely come to pass. And I'm just wondering, are there any worshipers in the house this morning that say, I've got a shout in my spirit, not because of what I have right now, but I'm shouting over a promise that he spoke in my life. Don't push me, I might just jump off this ledge. I'm trying to tell somebody that Abram says, I've I've got a promise from God.